A free society? What? It's not a cult. It's not communism. It's the culture that is taking over. Perhaps you didn't notice. But how many young people do you know already take advantage of free media such as YouTube, Hulu, Vimeo on the internet? How many people do you know are downloading movies from a torrent site? Mostly pirated blockbuster movies that are just being released in the theaters. How many people do you know are using freecycle.org? How many people do you know are on welfare or other kinds of financial assistance such as unemployment benefits, disability, or food stamps? If and when you go to the dollar store, let's say, how many times have you purchased a DVD for $1? Did you know that those movies are already free online on various sites? Did you know that most are free and in the public domain? How many folks do you know whom have skipped out on their rent, skipped out on paying government fees to do independent contracting jobs? How many folks do you know who have gotten around paying for something where there are taxes and fees owed? How many videos do you know of that explain how to perform cracks to software that you would usually have to pay for? Even legitimate businesses try to steal what they cannot afford. Even big businesses rig offshore gambling sites and banking tax shelters and spam Americans. Let's talk about bootleg music. No, wait, let's do some math. For instance, the film industry, let's start there. A major Hollywood blockbuster costs an investor, let's say, $2 million to produce. $2 million to $10 million. First, they present it in a large movie house, which costs a patron $8 to $10 per ticket, plus concessions. Second, they release it on a DVD, which costs a person or a family $15 to $25 to buy. The producers have to cover the cost. They are spending on a massive amount of protective devices to keep you from pirating it, which will, of course, be pirated anyway, most likely in another country like China or the UK, or by the producer himself. Third, they release it to rent for $5 or $2. No matter how much they spend trying to keep the educated hacker from stealing it, they cannot keep up. So the sucker who doesn't know how to hack it or hasn't got the balls to hack it will pay well over what he might be able to afford to see it. How many of you have found a bootleg copy for cheap, purchased a used copy on eBay or Craigslist or at the swap meet? Now, let's move on to the YouTube phenomenon. Recording Artists of America. They started to get really pissed about their artist tracks, concerts being uploaded without permission, so back in 2005, or maybe earlier, lawsuits started rolling in. And technology attempts to counter this problem. Legal language is added to the site to try and persuade you from uploading those songs, concerts, movies, whatever, right? Google loses massive amounts of settlements. Developers are hired to add digital watermarks to songs, let's say, from Sony and Viacom. These videos are eventually taken down, but in the meantime, it's being recorded and slapped onto another site, in CDs and MP3s, by very intelligent minds. The trouble is, with all the countries in the world that YouTube is offered to, there are specific countries with millions of accounts opened every day that disregard those laws, either intentionally or out of blatant negligence, or because those laws don't apply to them in that country. I mean, because if they think, well, if everyone else is doing it. Well, Google cannot keep up, nor can the record companies, film companies, artists, and so the problem is worse than it has ever been. But Google doesn't want to stop servicing those countries. One thought has entered the minds of all these businesses. They can't win. They can't stop it, because the culture is already changing. The culture is already changing, without their permission or approval. It's just taking over, so to speak. There. So what is the recourse? You're either going to accept it, or keep going, or stop everything entirely and just kill everyone off.